the technology developed in the US may not work as it is in the Indian setting. So those have to be adapted now. So main focus in most of the AI research has been on developing AI technologies for the Indian society. So safety thing has not come in yet because the systems have not been deployed at that scale that those issues would start popping up. So, but possibly in the future, safety issues will start popping up when these systems get deployed.
But like the safety concerns are not just specific to India; they are like global issues. AI safety is a global
But
issue at this moment.
see, as far as I know, most of the researchers are not really focusing on the safety, A safety. I mean, okay, they have some little bit of work is going on, but that's also sort of very limited. Uh,
Okay.
so most of the researchers are thinking more on applying it.
If you could.
Like I mean, even like in case of LLMs and all these, most of the people are actually focusing more on developing LLMs for the Indian setting rather than actually seeing the safety or the I mean the concerns that or hallucinations and all those concerns that
Mhm.
LLMs would face.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I should first give a brief about me if you have heard of the document so that you can get from where I'm asking. So currently I'm doing my bachelor's in University of Padua. I'll complete my bachelor's in October, and I have very strong interest in AI safety, specifically AI alignment, and then
Mm-hmm.
again AI alignment with ethics, and to be very specific, artificial wisdom segment. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, I have written some projects of my own on the field of artificial wisdom, data of wisdom, and all that. But when I wrote them in India, then I did not write them in a formal and academic way. I wrote them in a very like non-academic way. That was a major
Mm-hmm.
problem because I did not even knew that how to write papers and all these things. We were not taught. And when I came here, I got to know that there's a different way to write papers. I'm in talks with a professor of mine, and it is a requirement for all bachelors to write a thesis kind of thing or project. So I'm writing that, but it is just one of the projects. But the amount of insights that I have written in my DSW, I got this review from some other professors that there could be 3, 4 papers or thesis based on the just one paper. Except for that, I'm also working on a different set of papers of CQV that has again some new insights and thoughts, all concerned with AI safety and artificial wisdom supply. The thing is, I want to pursue this field now after my bachelor's, but there is no AI safety course designed anywhere that I can find, neither here, neither in Germany, neither in
Yeah, it's
India.
a very niche field,
Yeah,
right? It's very dynamic. I
I
mean, things are still not static. I mean, people are still figuring out ways.
I can find one course in Stanford and one in UC Berkeley. That's all. And since it is so less and also it's US, so it's very competitive, and I don't think I will be able to go there. So
Mm-hmm.
when I talk to other people, what should I do with my life now? Because I want to go into this field only. Other things does not suit me well. Then they suggested me to directly do some research as an assistant researcher in some company, or get a fellowship, or directly go for PhD in the field of the AI safety. But
Mm-hmm.
for all of them, I need to find some supervisor who can help me do the PhD thing. I have
Mm-hmm.
found two supervisors in UK who are working on virtue ethics, trying to implement virtue ethics in machines, and one other is working on moral systems and all this kind of things that are close by to my things, and I can go there. But again, it's very limited because the first thing that is required is the sponsorship and visa requirements. All that comes into play, and going to UK for that will become a problem for that. So
Mm-hmm.
India would be a better chance for me also because of like
You're
doing
from
some.
India only, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I came here for 2, 3 years ago for my bachelor's. There's the thing, I wanted to study AI properly from my bachelor's level only, but I could not find any specific course that was for AI in India. Like more for like computer science with AI, not AI specific. That's why when I
Mm-hmm.
could not find anything in India, I had to come here. But now my field has got even more specific into AI safety now. I'm not into AI, I'm into AI safety and alignment. So basically, I don't know how to proceed now. Given that my work also requires some amount of information from philosophy. So some people suggesting to go for philosophy as well, but given the actual insightful things that people need from a philosophy degree, I already have that. My projects already represent that, and
Mm-hmm.
just for the terminology and certification sake, it is not worth it to spend 2 years to study philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a general suggestion that I got to directly go into research through some fellowship or through some PhD, but I don't know how to do that now. I'm trying to get into touch with people who can help me do that. So like, do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, so see, if you want to come to India, right, for PhD, so for PhD, I would recommend one of the IITs for doing PhD on AI safety in particular, right? So
Mm-hmm.
See, okay. Let me also give you a little bit of background. I'm also working a little bit on the ethics and the culture
Yeah, yeah.
part, right? I
I
don't know,
read
you
your
might have.
common sense paper.
So that, and also sort of one topic which I kind of started, but had put it on a pause because I could not find students to work on it, was computational morality, which was I'm kind of very much interested in, sort of aligning with what you are looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah.
And so on, and also I've started some work on ethics with the philosophy department here in IIT Kanpur, right? So here there is a humanities department where there is some one professor. Into philosophy, so he's also interested in this AI and ethics sort of thing. So we are sort of started talking on those lines as well. So yeah, so okay, coming to you, right, basically, I would suggest that if you want to go for, I mean, okay, since you are so much interested in the AI safety and you have sort of already figured out the top, sort of the major topic that you want to work on, so I would suggest that you should maybe look for IITs, and maybe I'm also sort of open to hiring PhD students. So you should, and obviously, I will also recommend check out other IITs also. Like, I mean, check out other professors who might be working on AI safety, uh, and then contact them and basically figure out the. See, usually in IITs, if you want to go for PhD, so like, okay, so I mean, most of these professors would be in some computer science department or something equivalent, basically. So for that, usually the requirement is that you would need a gate score, right? A gate, I mean, you need to qualify gate basically. So you would have to qualify gate, and then after, and obviously some minimum GPA in your bachelor's. I think it's 7.5 out of 10. So I mean, I don't know how that translates to your setting, but some, I mean, equivalent basically, right?
Yeah.
So that has to be there, and then usually what happens in like in most of the IITs that they will have a so some in some of the IITs there is going to be a written exam and then followed by a interview, right? Once you clear all those things, then you basically get selected for the PhD program, and then you can start with the research
And
basically.
will there will be any valuation for the project that I've already done and the thesis that I've already written or research paper I've already written? Will those also be
So
evaluated?
that, see, now you're going into PhD program. So so the here you will, I mean, okay, that would be valued in terms of your interview. During
Hmm.
your interview, they will obviously see your project and your background and everything. So there it will count a lot basically.
Okay,
So
but
I mean, there would be no direct point kind of thing, points you will be getting for it, but it indirectly helps because during the interview it will automatically come out when they will see your CV and everything, right? So from there it will become very apparent like what you have already done and what you want like to do further.
okay, but for initial process, the gate examination is like a must. And
Gate is required. Usually the gate is required because the funding, so your stipend and funding from the government of India basically, HRD. So for that, they want that the candidate should be gate qualified, right? So that's the requirement, and otherwise also one option is, but that is a little tricky option where you can actually, if there is, let's say, you get some funding from some company or some organization who are ready to sort of fund you for the PhD program, then in that case, gate score may not be required.
so basically, gate score is necessary for the funding procedure. If I can get funding from somewhere else, then that's not necessary.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
So that's the thing, and uh, yeah. So mainly this is the process, which is I think in almost all the IITs basically.
okay, and in India, it is allowed to do a PhD just after bachelor's. It is not necessary to
Yeah,
do a master's.
yeah. Yeah. So one of my PhD students, he came after bachelor's directly. I mean, okay, he worked for 2 years in the industry, but I mean,
Yeah,
he only had a bachelor's.
that is also one of my plans because the other projects that I was working on, I need some time to convert them into a research paper because a lot of mathematical part is missing and some has philosophical part, but the theoretical parts are missing. So I need to fix them also. It will take, I guess, 6 months or a year after my degree. So I'll also have to go somewhere or do something to properly convert them into paper. So it's not like just
See,
a.
one option could also be, so. Where in India are you from?
I'm from Varanasi, Banaras.
From Banaras. Okay.
Yeah.
So, see, one option could be maybe you look for some sort of RA-ship, research associate sort of thing,
Okay.
right? And then you work for a year or so. Like, I mean, I have one student before going for PhD, he is doing RA-ship with me for almost 2 years now. So,
Okay.
something
And
similar you could look for
how do
is
we do that?
RA
How
shift.
do we do that? Are they shifting? Like,
So RA shift, the way it works is that you apply to some professor, and if they, I mean, they would take your interview or maybe look at your CV and papers and those things. And if they are happy with that, then basically you get the letter, and
okay,
you can start.
okay, I
Issue,
got.
I'm not sure if there will be any formal details. It's usually like, I mean, it's a very professor specific thing, right? So
Okay,
everyone has their criteria sort of thing.
okay, okay, so that.
So,
Okay, so.
I would suggest, see, if you are really interested into AI safety, I am already doing some project on this thing, like
Mhm.
especially like AI and ethics, and then also culture and AI and culture, right?
Okay.
So, if you are interested, then maybe some RA shift could be one possibility where
Yeah.
you could start with.
Yeah. For we can schedule a next call in which I could explain you the project that I've already did and how I'm working. I'm also at this moment reviewing some other papers in the field of artificial wisdom and like paper reflecting or reprinting. There is something in which we read papers and review it and we draw our conclusion from it. It was suggested by my professor to do that first, so I'm doing that. And I've also got a lot of citations now. Like I'm more into the academic way of it. But one of the other things that I like at this moment is like the soft skills of research that people have, like collaborating with other researchers and how do we actually write a paper and how do we cite it. All these
Yeah,
skills I
something
like. So I need to
that is
learn
something
this.
you develop during the PhD
Yeah,
itself, right?
exactly. So I need to learn these things as well because if I will not learn them, there is no point of like just thinking and ideating about it. So I need to all
So
do all this.
I have one question. Why did you move to Italy for your bachelor's? Why didn't you do it in India itself?
I searched like there was lockdown, and after that I searched for AI courses that were specific to AI specific, like not computer science with AI that kind of courses, AI specific, or some other courses that did not had irrelevant subjects or a lot of irrelevant subjects in the curriculum,
Hmm.
and I could not find any of them. Like most
Hmm.
had
So, but
chemistry.
see, in general, see,
Yeah.
if you're going into academia,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to develop, see, if you're going into academia, it's going to be a long-term thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for that, you also need good fundamentals, especially if you're going into AI, you need good fundamentals of computer science as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because you never know, in future there's some technology which will be using concepts from classical computer
Yeah,
science, right?
exactly.
So you need to
That's
have
right.
those.
But computer science is good, mathematics is good, but studying irrelevant chemistry was problem for me because I did not like
Okay,
chemistry.
okay,
And
okay.
also I saw the courses in India. They had some like very irrelevant. For English, they were teaching English as a subject for computer
I mean,
science.
it's more people who don't know English, right? There are all sorts of
Yeah,
people
I
coming from
understood
different.
that the scenario of India is a bit different, so I understood that, and I
Hmm.
did not see myself fit very well into that, so that's why I moved here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and not just
So maybe what we could do is, in the interest of time, what we can do is, maybe you prepare some sort of a presentation or something, right? And next time you give me sort of a presentation about the research you have done so far, and maybe after that we can talk more. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, obviously I will do that because I'm preparing presentation and my work more academically for other professors and for other purposes as well. I have applied to
Hmm.
like 30 40 positions, ML for good UK, ML for good France. I
Hmm.
am currently moderator in AI safety Germany. Like there was an opportunity and I applied there to be a participant, but they saw my project and they said that you can be a moderator instead. And they asked me to
Hmm.
be a moderator. I'm a moderator there. I've also moderated some other groups. Now I'm like I went to the EA community of Italy recently in Bologna, and they asked me to organize a whole AI safety camp here, so that
Okay.
I can take people from Italy as well. But these are more like supervisor and managerial things. I don't know that much. I'm only into
Hmm.
technical things. So
Hmm.
I'm doing
No,
all
no.
these
So see, in
things.
general, see, if you're really interested in coming back to India, I would be interested in talking more to you.
Sure,
So
sure.
because I'm
Okay.
also see, advantage in India is that you have some sort of first player advantage more in terms of
Mm-hmm.
research, right? There are not many
Mm-hmm.
people. If you have this, you are
Yeah,
the first in
yeah.
the field, then
Demand
you
supply concept supply is very less at India at the moment.
and yeah, and also see, the thing is, the kind of safety you would need in Indian setting is very different from what you need in the Western setting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
that's the
And
thing.
there has been a lot of research. We have also found that the kind of models, especially like LLMs, which are developed, they are very
Mm-hmm.
West centric and they don't work well in the Indian setting. So there's a lot of scope
Mm-hmm.
for that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
It is.
from that perspective, I mean, it's sort of a, I mean, from research perspective, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, when I went to some meetings like EAGX and all and VISU when I attended the conferences, Then there are the people who came from ethics research of ASAP. Then this is was one of the problems that they were addressing. Like it is different in Spanish context, it is different in Italian context, in American context. So basically, obviously, ethics is different, humans are different. And the topic that I was working on was wisdom. So wisdom was basically like something that makes ethics. So it's like intelligence. Intelligence does not is not specific set of logic. It is something that can produce logic. Similarly, wisdom is not ethics; it can produce ethics. So that was my specific way. And when I told this, that's why like a lot of people got very impressed by it and very happy, because I'm not working on a specific set of ethics for India, for America, a general concept from which any set of ethics can be generated.
So yeah, so that is a very hard problem also, because I also in the past I've thought a lot about it, but it's a very hard problem. You might have already realized. It's a very a lot of subjectivity also comes into picture there.
Yeah,
right? So, and
subjectivity and objectivity of subjectivity, Chinese room problem, a lot of problems are there when it comes to human realizations, theory of mind, consciousness, everything starts coming to the game and it becomes very
see,
philosophical.
especially one thing when you do research is that you need to pin down on something very specific and divide, formulate some sort of assumption and constraints around that, and then try to solve the problem. Because you cannot solve the entire problem in one go, right? It has to be step by step. So
That is one of the things. Yeah, this is where the first thing that I made was data structure of wisdom, in which I basically devised the key elements that would be required for formulating wisdom. How we have data structures for logic, all the data structures that we study, similarly data structure of wisdom. Currently, the project I'm working on CQB, that is basically how can we use those data structures to make some kind of algorithms in which wisdom can work. But given that wisdom is very implicit and indirect ways compared to intelligence, so we have different things. But again, I have done half of it, so I can understand that a lot of work is left to do and to research about. But I'm doing this one by one step. For now, my major focus is to stop actually creating new thoughts and new ideas and just
try to finish
convert,
up your thing.
and try to get what is already done and convert the old things into academic format. Like it's like I'm changing format at this point, and also try to reach out to more people and to actually get a thing to do after my bachelor's. So I'm at that stage now, because also the amount of insights and thoughts that I have are seems enough to make good amount of papers. So first I convert them into papers, and I should think about new things to make new papers. But he also said that there is currently no work, and it is very hard to find people who are working in this thing. So
Yeah, as I said, like I mean, there's very limited work in India, but that is actually I see that as an opportunity actually because there's less crowd. I mean, there's less crowd there. So you can, I mean, come up with new ideas, so that will help you in the academics, right? So it's, as I said, it's the first mover advantage that you will have there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I will. Did you read the document that I sent you, the rewrite of DSO?
No, not fully actually. So I was hoping that maybe you might be giving a presentation.
I would do that, but in the next call, given that now the thing is, I contacted some bit of professor and none of them replied. One of them replied and he did not came on call 2 times. He just said that they will be called, but he did not even came on call. So that's why I was not even hoping for you to show, and that's why I did not prepare anything.
No. See, if I reply and if I commit, then I will come. Otherwise, I would not commit, right?
Yeah. He's working on to meta ethics. Meta ethics is nearly wisdom if we like just change the terminologies. So like similar kind of topics. So I thought to talk to him as well. That given that if I cannot get into AI safety from a technical point of view, then at least from a philosophical point of view, I get into the research of this, because it was also.
I would suggest in general, see, if you want to make an impact, you should thinking more from the perspective of more on the technical side rather than just the philosophy side.
Yeah.
Otherwise, see, especially in the CS community or the AI community, people don't take philosophers that seriously. Unfortunately, that's how the trends are.
Yeah. It has been happening from long.
If you say the same thing from the computer science side, then people will listen to you.
Understood.
So,
yeah, so I'll be doing
because,
that. That's why I'm coming to the
partly also
technical
because computer science has more impact on the world rather than philosophy, right? So partly the reason is that also.
That's a bit arguable point from my reference. Philosophy led to computer science that had impact.
That I know. But see, if you look at average, funding agency or anyone, more interested in something which has had direct impact. Basically.
Yeah. So, that's the thing. Direct impact and indirect impact. Humans are not very good to see direct correlations. So direct impact is from computer science. Okay, so I'll do that. Also, the half an hour is over. I was trying to. I thought to explain the DSW as well, but it will take, I guess, 45 minutes in general.
Yeah. So So it seems. You are quite serious about the research, right? And because usually I get a lot of emails on daily basis, right? So and especially from the bachelors, students who have done just bachelors, they send me a lot of emails, and many of them are not serious for research, and they just send the email just to see if
It's
something
about
is.
purpose. Like this is what I have been saying recently in the EA thing. It's not an option for me to not do research because other things does not make sense for human form to exist. For me,
Yeah, okay.
like this is
So,
the most
so that's why
impactful
I'm
thing.
a little always a little hesitant about if someone sends me an email and says that I've done this, and I mean, so because I had some in the past, I had some
I
experiences, so
understand.
possibly that's why I also didn't respond to you right away, and
Mhm.
some time to maybe think about it and then respond.
Not a problem.
But yeah, anyways, you seem to be quite interested in this area, and I think we should talk more.
Sure,
And I
sure.
think there could be some nice opportunities to sort of work together
Work together,
in
yeah.
the future, maybe. So maybe let's talk more. Possibly, I mean, one thing could also be if things work out, maybe you could also pursue a PhD in here, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm thinking
but
about
let's figure out. I mean, let's give
Yeah,
it some
yeah.
time.
First, let me do my part of the work of creating a
Mm.
presentation and stuff, and I'll hit you up once I done that.